welcome back.
Yeah, man, how you doing? You know you like that.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Math Talk with Mr. Faison and I'm Mr. Faison or Mr. Faison. As long as you know, today we're working on solving quadratic equations part 2. Now we're talking about when the leading coefficient is greater than 1. What do we do there? So we look at our first problem. We have 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the first number and the last number and multiply it. 2 times 3 is 6, a positive 6. Now I'm gonna drop down, I'm gonna rewrite the problem. So when I rewrite it, I'm just gonna put x squared. I'm gonna remove the 2, okay? So you remove the leading coefficient, you just put x squared. And then you put 5x, and you replace the 3 with the 6 we just found. Now we wanna solve a quadratic equation where the leading coefficient is 1. First thing we do, parentheses, 2 groups of parentheses. Whenever our leading coefficient is 1, the first thing we put is an x in that one and an x in this one. Now we want to ask ourselves, what 2 numbers can we multiply to get 6? But if we add them, we'll get 5. So if I look here, I'm thinking 3 and 2. If I multiply 3 times 2, I'll get 6. But if I add them, I'll get 5. So positive 3, positive 2. All right, but we're not done yet, so that's not our answer. What I'm going to do now is, remember that 2 we removed earlier? We're going to take this 2, and now we're going to divide it by this 3, and we're going to divide it by that 2. So divide by 2, divide by 2. So this right here won't divide evenly. So what I do is I take it and I put it in the front. So now we're looking at 2x plus 3. 2 divided by 2 is going to give us 1. So now I'm going to have x plus 1. And that'll be my answer. All right? So just so y'all know, it wouldn't have mattered if the 2 went here and the 3 went here. It wouldn't have mattered. All right, just like it wouldn't have mattered if the 2x plus 3 would have been in the back and the x plus 1 would have been in the front. The answer would have still been your answer. Let's jump on over to problem number 2. Problem number 2 is telling me 4x squared minus 5x minus 6. First thing we want to do is multiply the 4 and the negative 6. We multiply that, that'll give us a negative 24. All right, now we go back and we rewrite the problem. Remember, we removed the 4. So now we just have x squared minus 5x, and we remove the negative 6 and replace negative 24 with it. Now we put 2 groups of parentheses. So now that we're solving a quadratic equation with the leading coefficient being 1, I put an x here and an x there. All right? Now I want to ask myself, what 2 numbers can I multiply to get negative 24? But if I add them together, I get a negative 5. So what you can do is go here and find out what 2 numbers you can multiply together to get a negative 24. Those 2 numbers would be negative 8 and positive 3. So now that we found this, we have to take this 4 that we removed earlier and divide both of these by 4. Negative 8 divided by 4 is going to give me a negative 2. This won't divide evenly, so I have to take this 4 and move it to the front. We have now 4x plus 3. And that was my answer. All right. Moving over to problem number 3. Same rules apply. We start off by multiplying the first number and the last number. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. Now what I do is I drop down and I rewrite it. X squared. Remember, we removed the 6. Plus 4x. We removed the negative 2 and replace it with negative 12. Now, I'm solving a quadratic equation with the leading coefficient being 1. So what I do is, parentheses, 2 groups. And the first part is an x, and the second part is an x. All right? Now, you have to ask yourself, what 2 numbers can I multiply to get negative 12? But if I add them together, I get a positive 4. So what you can do is pause it real quick and find out what those 2 numbers are. All right? Because those 2 numbers are positive 6 and negative 2. Now what I do is I'm going to take the 6 that we removed earlier and divide both of these by it. Divide that by 6. Divide that by 6. 6 divided by 6 is a positive 1. That won't divide evenly. So what I do is I take it and move it to the front. 6x minus 2, and this will be my answer. Remember, It doesn't matter if the 6x minus 2 was in the front and the x plus 1 was in the back, right? It would still be the right answer. Hey, look, that's solving quadratic equations part 2. I appreciate it. I'm gonna see y'all next time. And y'all know where to get these at, man. Come on, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all.
God's plan. God's plan.